Hey everybody, I recently finished a 5-day, 70-mile backpacking trip in the Grand Canyon with 2 tough 25-mile days, and I learned a few things along the way. In this video, I'm going to go over everything there is to know about hiking in the canyon, so let's get into it. Let's start off with some of the popular day hikes. Most people will experience the park by visiting the South Rim. These are the 4 most hiked trails: the Rim Trail, the Bright Angel, South Kaibab, and the Hermit Trail. The Rim Trail is a 13-mile trail that runs along the top of the canyon from Hermit's Rest to the South Kaibab trailhead. It is a relatively easy, flat trail and can be started and stopped at many vista points. The shuttle bus system, which I will talk about later, will help you do this trail in one direction. Also, it is cooler at the top of the canyon at the higher elevation and warmer down in the canyon. The Bright Angel Trail runs from the Grand Canyon Village down to the Colorado River. There are many good turnaround points that would make for good day hikes. At the 1.5-mile mark, there is a restroom and possibly a water station. This would make a nice 3-mile hike, or you could continue another 1.5 miles and turn around for a 6-mile walk. Havasupai Gardens is another 1.5 miles down, and from there you could get some better views of the canyon. If a 9-mile hike is an option for you, I think the gardens would be a great place to turn around. Plateau Point is a little further ahead, affording a nice view of the river, but I think best to only do if you plan to stay at the gardens overnight. The South Kaibab Trail is also very popular. You will need to take the orange shuttle over to the trailhead. When I started my backpacking trip, I hopped on the first bus of the day at 6 a.m. For day hikes, these 3 spots are good turnaround points: Ooh-Ah Point, 1.8 miles round trip, Cedar Ridge, 3 miles round trip, and Skeleton Point, 6 miles round trip. I think the South Kaibab Trail is a better option than Bright Angel. There are fewer people and better views. The Hermit Trail is another good option for a day hike. You will arrive to Hermit's Rest, which has food and drinks, by taking the Red Route shuttle bus. Just like the South Kaibab, there is no water on the route, so bring plenty of water. I think right around mile mark 3.7 is a good turnaround spot for a challenging 7.4 mile or so day hike. Next, we have some good options for overnight hikes. I stayed one night at Granite Rapids, which is right on the Colorado River, so that's a spot I can definitely recommend. Great views looking back up at the South Rim and chance to sink your toes into the Frigid River. It would be around a 20-mile trip. A more common overnight would be camping at Bright Angel Campground or staying in a cabin at Phantom Ranch. Both would be very nice. The Bright Angel Campground books up far in advance, so something to keep in mind. There is also a cantina there where you can buy food and drinks. The lemonade is a good choice, and refills I think were only $1. One last overnight that I think would be good for those looking to hike from the South Rim to the North Rim would be stopping for the night at Cottonwood. It would be about 14 miles to reach this site from the South Kaibab trailhead. I was looking to stay here one night, but it was fully booked. I also did not do the short side trip over to see Ribbon Falls, but I think that is a must if staying at Cottonwood Campground. Now for some multi-day hiking trips. Many people will hike rim to rim to rim by starting or ending on Bright Angel and then up the Bright Angel Canyon via the North Kaibab Trail. Backpacking from rim to rim in a day is pretty grueling, so if possible, stay down in the canyon on the first night. Sleeping at the North Rim for day 2 would be a good option before heading down the same trail towards Phantom Ranch. The third night, if possible, would be staying at Phantom Ranch or camping at Bright Angel Campground. If you have the time, there are several campsites along the Tonto Trail or down by the river, or stay at Havasupai Gardens before hiking out of the canyon. There are lots of options on the south side, so it really depends on the time you have. Having said that, Monument Creek looked like a nice campsite, and I'm glad I stayed one night at Granite Rapids. Now for some important general hiking tips for the Grand Canyon. It kind of goes without saying, but wear skin protecting clothing like a sun hoodie. Have sunscreen, drink plenty of water with electrolytes, and rest during the hot midday sun. I like the electrolyte packets from Liquid IV and this sun hoodie from a company called Freefly, which is made out of lightweight, super comfortable bamboo. Also, it is a good idea to bring a water filter, and this one from Katadyn is lightweight and easy to use. You may encounter mules on the South Kaibab Trail or the Bright Angel, so always follow the mule guide's instructions, and best to stay on the inside of the trail. Here is a picture of the shuttle bus schedule I took. I found the shuttle buses to be running right on schedule, clean, and easy to use. If staying overnight in the canyon, you'll need to visit the Backcountry office and get a backcountry permit. I highly recommend downloading the recreation.gov app. This is likely where you will book your campsites, and the app works better than using the mobile browser. There is a rather large market at the village, so if you need to stock up on any last-minute items, this would be a perfect spot. I do not hike with trekking poles, but they would be a really good idea to have if you plan on hiking down into the canyon. If you end up walking by Horn Creek or staying there for the night, do not drink the water. I found it easy to car camp at this parking lot near the visitor center. There is a large bathroom and a shuttle pickup spot close by. Like I mentioned, I hiked 70 miles between April 16th and the 20th, and now I'm going to use AllTrails to go a bit more in depth about my experience. So if you want to do something similar or want to learn about the behind the scenes of my silent hiking video that I have up on YouTube, come along for the next part. Alright, so here is the bird's eye view of the Grand Canyon National Park. I arrived to the south rim by taking the 40, turning north near Williams, and heading up on the 64 here. The Grand Canyon Village is here. The night before I set out on my 5-day backpacking trip, I slept in my car at this parking lot here, and then I took the shuttle right around this area over to the South Kaibab trailhead. What I will mention is I believe the Backcountry office is somewhere around this area of the park on that side. But yeah, going back over here though, I hopped on at 6 a.m. I believe, that first shuttle, the orange shuttle, over to the South Kaibab trailhead, which is right over here. So you take a short drive over to this spot right over here, and that was the start of my hike. So of course, heading down into the canyon on the South Kaibab trail. Started out pretty early, like I mentioned, and plenty good weather the first day, and really the rest of the trip. You arrive, I think, to Point, I believe, right around here, if I remember right. It doesn't take too long to get down to that 1.5 mile spot. And let's see here, so continuing down, I'm just going to use AllTrails in pretty much the bird's eye the entire time. I remember there's one shot in my video where I think I set my camera up somewhere right around here to shoot walking along right here. So this is about a 10-minute clip, so I ended up walking down and then up this, which was strenuous, but I think well worth it in the end. And yeah, continue down into the lower, down into the canyon here towards the Colorado River. This suspension bridge was neat to see. I believe at one time it was the only crossing for maybe 800 miles. So that was kind of neat. I believe it was completed in the 20s, I believe. So that was cool to walk across. From there, though, you'll link up with the North Kaibab Trail, which is where you have the Bright Angel Campground, Phantom Ranch, where you can grab some food and drink, that sort of thing there. I arrived, I'm pretty sure, right around midday, maybe 11:30, something like that. Down to Phantom Ranch, had lunch, and then continued on. It was pretty warm. So yeah, down in the canyon, it's cool. It's much warmer than up top. I believe it was maybe right around 90 degrees or so down there. So that afternoon was a little bit rough. I had quite a few miles to cover, as you can see, backing out again. So that was the morning down in, and then the initial plan was to have to stop at the Cottonwood campground, which I will find here, for the first night, but that was fully booked. So my plans then switched to hiking to the North Rim. If I wasn't so pressed for time, I would have stopped, and I think it's a good idea. It's not very far from Cottonwood. Would have been a good idea to do this, take this little trail right here, head over to see the falls. So I wish I would have done that and didn't do it. So both of my long days didn't really allow for that little side trip, I felt. So, but yeah, that's a good spot to stop. But yeah, pretty, as you might imagine, it's pretty exposed. There's really no trees. So you're exposed to the elements pretty much the entire time you're in the canyon. I arrived there wasn't too many places to get water along the trail. Right before you start going up the canyon again, there's a spot to get water, and also there's the Bright Angel Creek, so you can grab some water there as well. But yeah, I probably arrived here right around here, probably maybe late afternoon, if I remember right, something like 4 o'clock or so, and then walked up the canyon that rest of the evening, up the Roaring Springs Canyon to get to the top of the canyon here. I'll spin it around and show us a little bit there. Beautiful walk. It was pretty tough, seeing as how it's towards the end of my day, so I was a little bit tired going up the very top of this. So then we arrived to the North Rim. North Rim was very cold. This side was closed still for middle April. Snow on the ground, that sort of thing. So lots of snow still all in this area. I arrived a little bit before dark, right before dark, right here at the end of this trail, and slept outside. Didn't set up my tent. Cowboy camped with snow around me, and then there really wasn't any water to refill over here either. So I filled up like a bag I had full of snow just to melt it. First night I slept here, and then the second night I slept right around this area, set up my tent. The initial plan was to take this on day 2 to take this trail, Ken Patrick Trail, over to the Uncle Jim Trail, just to shoot more, do a little bit of walking around, just seeing the canyon from different viewpoints. But I think I ended up experiencing a little bit of heat exhaustion from the first day, so I really wasn't feeling all that well. Probably wasn't drinking enough water with the lack of water available on this side. So really, I think right here, I just stayed in my tent for all of day 2, just resting. And then day 3 was hiking back down the canyon. And again, I didn't have there was very few campsites available. Right along the bottom here at the Colorado River, there's a site called the Granite Rapids. So I was attempting to walk all of this on day 3. So I did book that for day 3, this spot right here, Granite Rapids. But as it turns out, that is just way too far to walk in a day. So I got pretty far though, but day 3 started off that early morning, walking down that canyon again. Nice views. Was really enjoying all the biodiversity of plants, and seeing all the cool lizards was really neat. And then I arrived to Phantom Ranch again, probably by about midday, and which is probably close to, let's see, you get there and then you walk back. So it's about 20 miles. So it's probably a good 14 miles or so, right around there, to get to Phantom Ranch. I think I arrived there, about midday, and had lunch again. Definitely took advantage this time of buying some electrolyte packets that they had there, and drinking lots of fluids, lots of lemonade, and I refilled multiple times. I think, like I said in the other part of the video, it was like $1 to refill, so I drank a lot, certainly at Phantom Ranch. And then I continued on crossing the other bridge here, and then walking the river trail. So I walked that for a ways, and then you catch the Bright Angel Trail. So I ended up walking a little bit on the Bright Angel up this way. Very nice part of the hike. It was later in the afternoon, early evening sort of. So the lighting was nice and a little bit cooler. So I enjoyed this part of the hike. A little bit of an uphill climb there, and see if I can back out again. And then I just remember enjoying this part of the hike quite a bit through here. It's really pretty, and there's a spring, so you can see that there's some vegetation down in the canyon, so it's a nice spot. You have the creek here, there was frogs, and day 3 was a really nice part of the walk. And then I ended up basically stopping right around the gardens here, and if I had been able to book, say, this campground, I probably would have stayed here that third night, but again, full. So I kept on going. I turned right here for the Plateau Point Trail, and then this is where that leads to, right here. Very nice view, but I didn't walk all of this. This was actually under some sort of construction too. They must have been putting in like a new water line or something. But turned off here onto the Tonto Trail. So that third night, walking sort of late afternoon, early evening, all the way to trying to still thinking I could still maybe make it to Granite Rapids, which that's the site I booked. But I got to Horn Creek, and it was so tired. I was about 25 miles, and I just decided to stop here. One thing to note, you cannot drink the water here at Horn Creek. I think it's radioactive or something. There's due to some mining activities. So definitely do not drink the water here at Horn Creek. I ended up sleeping outside. It's not loading at all, but there's some rocks right around here that I ended up sleeping on. Again, just cowboy camping, sleeping right here. Frogs were really loud, that sort of thing. Pretty windy actually too that night. But next day was going to be a pretty easy day. Really just continuing on this Tonto Trail around here. Got to see some deer, I think, right around this point. Kept on going right around here. So this is a really nice part of hiking in the canyon too, because you're looking up and seeing these impressive ridges. I arrived probably around 10 or so to the Monument Creek, which I will show you here in just a second where that is. You pass through Salt Creek. You pass by a lot of other campsites. They're probably a bit easier to get versus, say, the Bright Angel, that sort of thing. Keep going on the West Tontos. This is day 4, Cedar Spring. And I stopped right here. This had a good This still had some water flowing through this creek, so that was really nice. I was definitely happy to arrive here and refill my water. This looked like a nice place to camp as well. So this could be a good spot if you're doing a couple days down there. But that day 4, I kept on going. So I stopped, refilled. I arrived down, so I took this other trail down here, Monument Creek Trail, down to the Granite Rapids campsite. So this was my spot, my last night in the canyon. So that 4th day wasn't too terribly difficult. Kind of a half day. Some people working for the national park were clearing some brush here, getting it ready. Quite a few river rafting groups were going down the river. Some actually stopped to stay here that night. And this is where, right around here is where I jumped in the river to kind of freshen up and cool off. And I camped, I believe, right in this area, right around here, for that 4th night. So I didn't necessarily sleep right over here. I just cowboy camped again. Lots of bats flying around. It was really cool. So yeah, I really like this spot, this campsite. And again, you have, let's see if I can spin it around and show, but you have, no, it's not really good. It's going to be hard to show, but you have great views of looking up, right? Looking back up into the from inside the canyon, looking up. It's pretty neat. So going back over again. Day 5 though was my last day. So I walked up again, of course, up out of that canyon, and then connected with, I think, the Hermit Trail, which you pass by Monument Creek, and then you end up some point, I'll find it here in a second, but you end up taking a trail that, yeah, it's right over here. So you end up catching this trail right here. I think this is the Hermit Trail, joins up right here. So I walked out, caught there, and walked up. So from here it was all the Hermit Trail up, and yeah, it was nice. Met a couple nice people down at the rapids. So we had able to kind of walk up as a group on certain spots. But really this trail just follows up before you get, yeah, it comes over here, kind of walking along the top here. And then right about here is where it'll kind of turn up, and then you kind of start walking right up to Hermit's Rest. So this was a bit of a challenging part right here. I mean, of course, it's all uphill to get back up, but right here it was pretty warm during the day. So I was very happy to arrive back to Hermit's Rest, probably early afternoon, grabbing some food and drink here at the Hermit's Rest. Was really nice. So that was the finishing point for my 5-day walk, about 70 miles. Really recommend doing this one. I'm from California, but this is the first time visiting the South Rim for me of the Grand Canyon, and man, is it spectacular. I mean, there's plenty of superlatives, but it's quite a sight. So that was really my 5-day experience. If you have any questions, just please leave a comment. I'm happy to help if I can. My Instagram is Kerry W. Mercer, so you can always shoot me a message there. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. If you arrived at this point in the video, thank you. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one, guys. See ya.